Ominous clouds have gathered over Statesboro. Upon the whirlwinds of the west ride the northern Colorado Hailstorm. Standing in their path are the champions, Tormenta of South Georgia. And tonight, these two fronts collide in this, the aptly named Storm Showdown. This match brought to you by the Clubhouse from Optum Sports Medicine Field. Here are the standings as we are 2 weeks in. South Georgia Tormenta could go top of the league if results go elsewhere, and they are right now. Charlotte and Richmond are drawn in Richmond. For Northern Colorado, they have the opportunity to move up just 1 point through their opening game, but they were on fire offensively, so theoretically they could also possibly go toward the top of the league. That presented to you by Savannah Hilton Head Airport. Get to you now our players to watch, brought to you by Galactic Comics. Who else but the Minnesota Messi, Makwele Akale, 2 times in the League One Team of the Week. He scored an absolute belter of a free kick in week number 2. This was good for goal of the week in week number 1. He's playing at the number 10. Coaches, he's got more roll down the middle. Let's see what he can do in that number 10 spot tonight. Once again, brought to you by Galactic Comics. Here is that incredible free kick. A guy who can do it all inside and out. He can really tear up defenses, and he has done since joining the team last season. For the Northern Colorado Hailstorm, Arthur Rogers, a guy whose distribution is scary. He had 5 big chances created, which was more than any other player in the league so far, and they've only played 1 game. The reigning USL League One Defender of the Year is not just good one way, but both ways as well. He can provide, he can defend. He's an all-rounder. Watch out for him defensively tonight because we have a switch of positions from the Hailstorm. Well, folks, a game that promises a lot of meteorological mayhem. It'll be a lot of fun. We can't wait to bring it to you from Statesboro right after this when we return. This game presented to you by Kids World. Stick with us. We'll be back right here on ESPN+.
At Savannah Hilton Head International, you can choose from 11 different airlines, including Southwest Airlines, Breeze Airways, and Avelo Airlines. With up to 70 daily nonstop departures and over 30 nonstop destinations, Savannah Hilton Head International gives you more choices for a travel plan that fits your needs. Savannah Hilton Head International. Visit flysav.com.
Your mission, should you choose to accept it, will be to save Bullock County from slow internet. To do so, you must recruit an exceptional tech team. They must be fast, reliable, and absolutely fearless. Time is of the essence. Bullock's internet is dependent on your success.
Welcome to Statesboro. We're just moments away from kickoff in the Storm Showdown as Northern Colorado make the trip out to Georgia, trying to find their first ever win in the Southeast against this South Georgia Tormenta team, the defending champions from 2022. A lot of interesting changes to bring to you between both of the starting lineups. Today's game brought to you by Kids World, and the starting 11s do look a bit different for both of the teams because of injuries, because of suspensions, and because of coach choices. Can bring you our first starting lineup, first for the home team. Some changes here because of suspension. So Preston Kilwine received his second yellow. He is out. Jake Dingler is out because of injury. So Dalton Knutson makes his second-time debut in at the center back's position. Nimhard plays in as well. We'll see how they work. Another big change, though. TJ Bush is in goal. Pablo Hara is sent to the bench. How is that going to change things at the back? Brought to you by Statesboro Real Estate. Here is how the starting 11 looks for the away side, and We're going to be interested to see how they line up tonight because there's a bit of discrepancy in how they will. Delgado remains in goal. That was a big question mark whether or not he was. We'll see how much Amon gets to play up top. Of course, Dietrich is in as well. Billy King will be in from the start. Rendon, big name on the bench, will be the fact that we've got a guy who was out on international duty, Benamna, after returning from his time with the Republic of Central Africa. So all we await is the referee's whistle. Jonathan Belinsky to get us underway in South Georgia. Just one visit here previously from Northern Colorado. They lost. They're looking to avenge. And South Georgia are looking to get their home campaign started finally with a win. Both teams enter into this game with very good runs of results. You've got to go back to last season, but the loss against Charlotte for Tormenta was their first since September 7th of 2022. That was a 3-1 loss against Richmond. So quite some time since they had faced defeat. First time ever that they had lost on this field. They opened up the stadium late on last year and then rode that good fortune all the way through the playoffs into the final. Big ball in over the head of Akale. Jackson Cooley was closest to it. Out for a goal kick. On the other hand, for Northern Colorado, they've only got one loss in their last 8 matches stretching back to 2022. That was against this South Georgia Tormenta team, 3-1. That was at Irk Russell Field. They have not visited this new facility since it has opened. That is the only time they have played in the soils of South Georgia, and it did not go their way. Knutson ushers it back to TJ Bush. Jackson Cooley. Nick Akoto there in the bottom of your shot is Ian Cameron right there in the bottom left-hand corner. Head coach of Tormenta. TJ Bush started the final 11 games of 2022. Pablo Jara, of course, was a firm member of it, starting 11 for quite some time. He got his opportunity in the starting lineup, TJ Bush, and did not relinquish it. 5 clean sheets in those 11 appearances towards the end of the year. Akale lobs it in on his left. Ajay thought about the acrobatic effort. Akindele holds up to it on Sibella. Great work to win it back. Right down the middle, back to goal, Ajay. Otieno strikes, but it's blocked out front. A fast and early start from Tormenta. Billy King. Of course, no Irvin Parr up tonight for Northern Colorado for personal reasons. And no Keziah Sterling for Tormenta, so both teams missing their leading scorers from last season. Just 2 goals scored through 2 games for Tormenta. And no goals in their opening game for Northern Colorado. They were very unfortunate not to do so. TJ Bush will hang on. So we'll see how long both of those respective strikers are out and whether or not it's got long-running effects on their offensive output. Akindele. B2 couldn't get it past the 3rd man. Touched along nicely. Ammon takes it down but puts it wide. Very nice work to get the ball into him. Rather than try and dribble it down into the box, just decided to take it on first time. Got TJ Bush thinking about diving for it. Of course, this is a big game for both teams. Northern Colorado looking for their first win of the 2023 season. Also looking for their first win in the state of Georgia. Just as important for the defending champion too. There were rustles about, rustling if you will, after that loss against Charlotte. 3-1, man down. They did take down a revamped NCFC in week 1, so I think most of the rustling in the bushes was probably premature. But a win could take them top of the league. Right now, Charlotte is leading against Richmond. When we began the broadcast, it was tied at 1-1 thanks to an Owain Gordon goal, but Charlotte have since gone ahead, so a win tonight would not be enough to take them top of the league, but it would bring them to the summit just below Charlotte. Of course, also trying to bounce back after facing their first ever loss at the new stadium here, Optum Sports Medicine Field. Knudsen. Fonseca. There is a big name on the bench for Tormenta though, and Mateus Cassini. And 24 minutes against NCFC. Did not appear against Charlotte. Jackson Corey. Lucky Oprah. The defensive work. Kwakwa, the engine room of midfield for the Hailstorm. The Ghanaian got a yellow card in 73 minutes of play against Chattanooga last time out. Here's Lalo Delgado, another goalkeeper who we weren't sure, really for both teams, we weren't sure who we were going to see in goal. There were rumors that Pablo Jara might be dropped for TJ Bush, and then of course Peñaranda, the leader. This ball's played in and Bush collects. Little collision, spilled, but of course the referee's going to protect the goalkeeper in that situation. Peñaranda was back, but Lalo Delgado is favored in goal. The ball over the top. They've run these in and caused a little bit of confusion. TJ Bush mostly there, a collision with his own man, which I think is what Eamon is just appealing to the referee about there. You can kind of see him, a sly eye over towards Jonathan Belinsky. Sean Nembhard into Ajay. Davy Mason. Knudsen. Nembhard just does manage to split the difference, but Akoto's touch too heavy. Billy King. Little flair for the fanciful. Bruno Rendon. Rogers. Now Ajay. 3 players in white and blue there to snuff out that possession. Lalo Delgado in goal, coming in from Phoenix Rising. Coach saying they found out about Lalo from the goalkeeping coach they've got in, Zach Lubin, previously the goalkeeping coach with Phoenix. Knew a little bit about him, said he wanted to kind of earn that spot, was willing to go down to League One to earn that first position and then work his way back up into the championship. Given a good footing to do that. Dalton Knutson might have a few Omaha fans watching tonight to see him again. They had their match postponed against Knoxville due to some travel issues, so welcome in any Omaha fans looking to see Knutson again. Of course, there were a few tears shed on social media when the announcement came out. A lot, though, just happy to see that he's continuing his career. Got to talk to Ian Cameron about it and saying, of course, the guy that they know already has got some experience with the club. They've got him on a short term, being that they've got so many problems defensively with suspension and injury. Kindle is called for the foul. Jonathan Belinsky in a conference with Kindle. Here's a look at it. Bruno Rendon does kind of go straight up for the ball, and then a Kindle comes up from under him. Fonseca got himself into a tussle with Jackson Dietrich. Feels aggrieved that they tried to play the free kick and the ball was still rolling, so they had to reset. Mixed reviews last game for both of these teams. Of course, the 3-1 loss for Tormenta here against Charlotte, their first ever time losing at the new stadium. And Preston Kilwine sent off just moments into the second half on a second yellow for kicking the ball away. Coach Ian Cameron saying frustrating, but you can't put yourself in those situations. By the letter of the law, it was a yellow card. So they're just saying they've got to be disciplined in moments like that. It was a 0-0 draw for Northern Colorado against Chattanooga, a game that they dominated. They had 1.78 expected goals. Only Charlotte has higher numbers so far overall. And remember, they've played 2 games, scored 3 goals against the defending champions, so really good numbers. And they only had 0.22 expected goals against. So that means they're expected to score almost 2 goals last game and expected to basically not even give one in. Of course, we talked to you in the open about Arthur Roger. He's coming up with 5 big chances created. They were firing in shots. Plenty of touches inside the box. 3rd most of any team with 28. Remember, only 1 game played, and they still managed to be 3rd. So a lot of positive signs for a Northern Colorado team that scored bags of goals last season. They had the highest expected goals of any team, just under 42. Otieno through the channel looking for Corey. Eamon Zayed down in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, head coach for the Hailstorm, year number 2 in the 2nd season of existence for the team from the Rocky Mountains. Still no defining moment offensively as we reach the quarter of an hour mark. Just him out here in half number 1. Quick fire start from the home side. Opened up with a couple of early chances of getting the ball in the box, but never were able to create anything on Lalo Delgado's goal. Delgado went on a bender last week. An amazing game as he and Carlos Aviles combined for the most saves in a single game in League One history. That's one big reason that was a 0-0 draw, and why the Hailstorm were so stymied. Well, a big one, and we can show you our keys to the game, brought to you by Aspen Aerogels. Coach Ian Cameron specifically pointed out set pieces. He knows how dangerous this Northern Colorado team can be from set pieces. They are one of the best scoring teams in the league, as they were last season. From set pieces, from headers, whatever it may be, they can hurt you in a lot of different ways. So they were very interested in that. And for Northern Colorado, just slowing down the game. Tormenta is going to be out for blood tonight, given that they want to restore their pride, win back that record here at home, and set the record straight, especially so after the loss against Charlotte. So just don't let the game get out of hand. And so far they have not. The opening 90 seconds to 2 minutes was kind of a rhythmic moment for Tormenta where they might have gotten something, but since then Hailstorm have kind of put a lid on the pot, brought down the game to a simmer rather than a rolling boil. Davy Mason. Dalton Knutson. Number 13 in blue and pink. Here's Akoto. Inline cross. Away by Rogers. Coach Ian Cameron saying just need some time for the chemistry to build between Akoto, Kuri, and Akale. That triangle he envisages having quite a lot of production, so just needs to give it time. Otieno. Lobbed in ball under that one, Lalo. 1-2 into Akale, shifts it onto his left. Fonseca now shuffles it out to Ajay. First time in by Mason, just under Kuri, and Akindele straight at Delgado. By far the best opportunity we've seen for either of the two teams. An excellent cross, falling somewhat awkwardly for Akindele, who does well to make contact. I believe that was Akoto who was camped up behind Kuri, and they really, more than anything else, just struck him in the face. This is the fourth overall meeting between the two sides. 1 win, 1 draw, 1 loss, regardless of which way you look at it. 3-1 win at home late on in the season for Tormenta. It was a draw in week 19 up in Colorado, 1-1. And Northern Colorado took the very first ever meeting between the two sides. Game week 11, 2-0. Once again at home, Kuri through the lines. Akindele rounds the goalkeeper, but there is a big man on the line. Excellent defensive work from Rob Cornwall. He set down his foundation and stood up big. Akindele did so well, but there was the Irishman. Starting to tighten the screw here. First corner kick driven low. Settled by Ajay. Left out. A low stinging shot goes just wide. Well, Delgado might just have had that one handled, but it was arrowing for the bottom corner. Settled so nicely, and I believe that's Otieno. Struck it sweetly, just skipping off the turf like rock on water. They are generating quite a lot here through the opening 20 minutes. Dominating in possession as well. Just under 63% of the ball. They were down so early in that game against Charlotte that we were in a similar situation, but the complexion of the game was entirely different. Fonseca. Deshaun Nimhard, a more than competent replacement for Jake Dingler. Guy who racked up starts 29 of the last season through 33 appearances. The Belizean. Knudsen. A lot of air under this one. Away by Rindon. Deep into added time in Richmond. Charlotte is up 2-1. Trying to remain undefeated. It's 1-1 at halftime between NCFC and Lexington. Big switch for Cooley. Won by Oprah. Kodo in front of the Northern Colorado bench. Coach Ian Cameron said he had mixed feelings after that Charlotte game. He said, as opposed to the NCFC game where they won, he said he was disappointed with some of the aspects of the performance. He said they lost against Charlotte, but he was actually more pleased with their performance. He thought they fought back really well. As you see Kale now, he's drifting out wide. On his left, he's so dangerous. Lobs one in, but it's going to miss the head of Fonseca. Continue with Coach Cameron, who said the most disappointing aspect of that game against Charlotte was the fact that once they went down a man, that they let in a goal off a set piece, something that they really have been trying to focus on, and just to allow a goal when you're a man down, knowing it's going to be one of the big ways to hurt you. One of the areas that you've got to be able to cover. So that was very disappointing. And then he said once you're down a man and you're down a goal, you got to press for one. So the third goal happens. Not as disappointed with that, but the response overall he felt pretty good about. He said he was overall pretty pleased with the performance, if not the result. Good ball for Sabella, who's been quiet so far. Touched in by King. Was it laughed off the Scotchman? No, it was not. First corner kick of the evening for the visitors. Here's Billy King. Got 73 minutes in his debut against Chattanooga. So Arthur Rogers, who else will take it? The League One Defender of the Year. Had 8 assists. A man whose distribution and ability to service a ball was pinpointed by Ian Cameron in our conversation. He says, I hope the players are annoyed and tired of me saying it, but we've been talking about it all week. Let's see what he can do. Taken short. Curled in. Good ball. Flashed over. Was it last off Knudsen? Yes, says the referee. We'll do it all over again from the near side. It was just held on to and lobbed in. Great work by Dalton Knutson to rise up above the fray. So Rogers will go again. He had 3 game-winning assists last season, 8 in total. Driven low, an awkward redirection, and it can't be kept out. It's the Hailstorm who strike first. And the main man, the captain's the one who does it, Rob Cornwall. What a moment for the captain, just an awkward deflection. And the Irishman with the side foot strokes it home, and once again, the second time in 7 days, Tormenta go down first here at home. Set pieces, set pieces. Stung them in the last game, and it stings them here again. And I'm sure Ian Cameron, after stressing the importance of those set pieces, will be quite frustrated with that. We pointed it out to you in our keys of the game. And sure enough, that was the road into this one. Decent work by Fonseca, who was on the line. Could not keep it out. Last off, King. A goal kick for Bush. They do have quite a track record of scoring from set pieces and scoring headed goals, which often result from set pieces. They had tied for the most goals from corner kicks last year, 9, and the most goals from free kicks at 6. So 15 goals from just those set pieces alone. Oprah swung in. King, nice touch, just over TJ Bush's goal. Stefan Lukic. He's just cushioned down, and King, in vengeful pass with the outside of his boot. And now remember all the gloom that presided over that Charlotte game. Tormenta did fight back in that one. They went a goal down in just the 6th minute, but they tied it up very late through a set piece of their own from Akale. A beautiful free kick he took. Otieno rides the challenge. Here is the Minnesota Messi. Otieno. So they showed that they can come back. Kale. Ajay dispossessed by Rindon. Boots this one long. TJ Bush had to get that just right. The referee stops playing for a foul on Akale. And he'll be fouled yet again, the second time in quick succession, and that'll bring out a yellow for Eamon. And now it's all kicked off here. I believe that was Cooley and Cornwall. We're contesting over Akale. So you can see here it's just Eamon who just clips him on the ankle. Certainly a foul. A yellow card up to the referee's discretion.
Hey, can we play quick? Hey, can we play quick? Why? Why? To allow that? Why can't we? We've got a fucking ball. Why would we not be able to play quick? Why would we not be able to play quick?
And no other cautions issued out, it does not seem. Just the one to Eamon. It's Ian Cameron in deep conversation with the fourth official about being able to take that free kick quickly. And so Pedro Fonseca stands over it. It was he on the line for that Cornwall goal. Fonseca. Cornwall did have a goal last season. It was the game-winning goal against Real Salt Lake in the U.S. Open Cup during that magical run that Northern Colorado made deep into the tournament. Took down the Switchbacks in extra time. RSL 1-0 thanks to the goal from Cornwall for falling to Omaha of all teams, a fellow League One opponent. They lost 2-0. All three of those games played on the road. Akindele goes up for it. The goalkeeper came out, but Akindele's header not on target. Well, Lalo Delgado nearly getting himself into some trouble. It was a good ball in a great area. And Delgado just thought he might be able to catch it in the breadbasket. As you can see the positioning of his arms. He gets away with that one. Delgado. 2 starts for Phoenix Rising. His numbers are a bit skewed from his time with the Arizona team due to the fact he gave up 7 goals in a game against New Mexico United. Another yellow card. This one is Stefan Lukic. So the Serbian joins Eamon in the book. And now Jonathan Belinsky will go over to the sidelines and have a word. You can see it was Akoto who initially escaped. And it sounds as though a yellow card was issued to the bench of Northern Colorado. So that's 3 cautions now issued out to Northern Colorado. Eamon Lukic and the head coach Eamon Zayed. Here's an excellent look at it. Perhaps for encroachment of his area. That's kind of the reference that Belinsky made, pointing down to the lines that are supposed to encapsulate the coaching staffs. Dietrich. Forward goes Ajay. No way through Bruno Rindon, who just shrugs him off. Lukic, good build, back to front. Offside flag will go up. Both teams represented in last week's Team of the Week. Kale for his free kick goal, which made SportsCenter top 10. Rogers, who had a league high 5 chances created. Select, the official match ball supplier of USL League One and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit www.selectsportamerica.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Lukic fires one, stings the gloves of Bush. Big stop there for the man making his first appearance of the 2023 season. Pleading conviction from his side as they look to defend this corner kick. Lukic just riding the challenge of Otieno. A routine save, but one he had to make. Well, they struck from this corner. Brought to you by Herb Shop and Organic Foods. The last time they took one, it was Rob Cornwall who splashed it in then. Rogers, front stick, nodded away. Into the danger area and rises up as Bush. We're entering into a very dangerous period in League One. Last season, the most goals were scored in the 15 minutes before halftime and before full time. A full 93 goals scored before the halftime whistle. Fully 43.8% of all the goals scored last season were in the 15 minutes preceding halftime and full time. So goals come plentiful during this area. Away by Mason. Ajay. Still bossing possession, just under 64%. Already racking up 250 passes in the first half. Team that had the second most coming into tonight's game. Over 830, as well as the second most in the opposition half. Big focus for this Northern Colorado team is clean sheets. Coach Ayman Zayed saying that they had one of the better defensive records last season as far as goals conceded. They were the third fewest with just 38, but they only had 5 clean sheets, which was the second worst. So that was a big point of emphasis coming into this year, was keeping clean sheets, and that was one of the biggest wins from that draw against Chattanooga, was the fact they did keep a clean sheet. Ajay loops one in. Fonseca. Through the lines beautifully. Curry tries to go over Delgado harmlessly into the outside of the net. A beautiful ball down that central channel. Might just be a yard too far for Curry to do much with it. Delgado, great work to close down the angle, and it looks like he was offside anyways. Don't miss a minute of action in 2023. Whether your club is on the road or at home, catch nearly every second of USL League One action on ESPN+. The home of USL, MLS, La Liga, the Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Sign up today at plus.espn.com. Here's Billy King. Oprah. Around the corner for Oprah once again. Not fully clear. Dietrich drives it wide. It would be insult to injury to add a second here for the Hailstorm. Shuffled along to Oprah. Finds its target with King. Again by Oprah. Sabella. Trapped well by Ajay. Dietrich. The wind's fully blowing in here as King nearly wriggled his way through. Lukic. Valentin Sabella. Contact both ways, but it's the Argentinian who's the guilty party. Davy Mason brought down. Into the final 5 minutes of half number one, Rob Cornwall's goal separates the two sides. Of course, a very new look back line for Tormenta. TJ Bush, his first time this season. Davy Mason in just his third appearance for the club. Nick Akoto, the same boat. Deshaun Nimhard had to come in unexpectedly for the injured Jake Dengler. Got 77 minutes against Charlotte, but still was kind of thrust into the position he currently sits in. And then Dalton Knutson, who was just added to the roster just days ago. So that's got to be a little bit of an issue. The defensive cohesion along that back four. Speaking of defensive cohesion, this is the Northern Colorado team that didn't let up many goals late in games last season. They had the fewest goals conceded in the final 15 minutes of the first half of any team in 2022. Charlotte could not do it last week. Can the Hailstorm do it this? Ride this one-goal lead into the halftime break. Delgado. '21 starts for Knutson in the 2019 season when he was a part of this inaugural roster for Tormenta. Spent the last few years with Omaha. He won League One, as well as that incredible run in the Open Cup, where they saw off this Northern Colorado team. King. Now Eamon Lukic on his right, goes to the Serbian. Lukic onto his left, deflected out wide. Well, they have not had a lot of possession, but the set-piece game has been firmly won by Northern Colorado in this first half. Fourth corner kick of the game. 2 from the left and now 2 from the right. Already they've scored off one, as they are so apt to do. Corner kick brought to you by Herb Shop and Organic Foods. Arthur Rogers. Center of the box, away by Otieno. Will do it all over again. Eight assists last year for the League One Defender of the Year. He had a screamer against this Tormenta team in the 2-0 win, the game-winning goal and an assist. Already has an assist tonight. Crosses in, cleared off the line by Akale. Was that a foul? No, says the referee, Belinsky. Rogers just struggling with that left arm. Collided with the carpet here at Optum Sports Medicine Field. The final embers of half number one. Oprah hacks one from way out, and he goes way wide. Well, they have been ascendant in the final quarter of this first half. Hearing rumors of 2 minutes of stoppage time. Expected goals rather low. Tormenta 0.65, just 0.28 for Northern Colorado, yet they are the ones who lead.
The fourth official has indicated we will play a minimum of 2 minutes of stoppage time.
There is confirmation on the 2 minutes. Cotto and King. Well, it was around about this time that they found their equalizer against Charlotte. How desperately they want to repeat that here. Man with the captain's armband, Deshaun Nimhard. Otieno. Akindele. Ajay gets his cross away. Travella clearance by Oprah. And Knutson judged to have fouled Amon. That might just be enough to see Northern Colorado across the line in the first half. Eight shots so far for Northern Colorado in the first half, despite they've only had just over 36% of the ball. That one will be well out. 30 seconds, perhaps a little more. Try and get something here in the first half. It is just a single goal, so if they don't get something here before the halftime whistle, no reason to be despondent. Fonseca, we cross the 2 minute mark. Might there be time? And Arthur Rogers says no, there will not.
That's the half. Your score after 45 minutes played. Tormenta FC.
Well, Northern Colorado set pieces are their party piece, and they went to it yet again. A corner kick, which they racked up quite a few of in the first half, was what led them to their opening goal. A point of emphasis for Tormenta. They missed out. We'll bring a lot for you here on this halftime break on ESPN Plus. It was a bright start from Tormenta, but in the end, not enough to find them a goal. Set pieces for Northern Colorado, once again proving to be their savior. After so much attention and focus was paid to it, they get caught by it here. Difficult for South Georgia Tormenta, yet they're hoping to ride something in the second half. We'll bring it to you right after this here on ESPN Plus.
Southeast Georgia's best place to play. The Clubhouse Statesboro, where fun is.
At Savannah Hilton Head International, you can choose from 11 different airlines, including Southwest Airlines, Breeze Airways, and Avelo Airlines. With up to 70 daily nonstop departures and over 30 nonstop destinations, Savannah Hilton Head International gives you more choices for a travel plan that fits your needs. Savannah Hilton Head International. Visit flysav.com.
World Learning Center here in Statesboro, Georgia. Let's take care of all of your child care needs here at World Learning Center. From infants all the way to your schoolers. We also have a summer camp and holiday camp for those older children. And we have a brand new bus for field trips for the children to have fun and to learn and to explore new things all around our beautiful. Thank you for trusting with your most prized possessions.
Welcome back to Statesboro, where it is 1-0 in favor of the away side here through the first 45 minutes. This match presented to you by Kids World. Let's toss it over to my good friend Mark Schoenster with all of the action from last Saturday. Take it away, Mark.
Weekend we had 4 of them, and one of them was in a new home, Paladin Stadium, the new home place for the Greenville Triumph, but it was not a warm welcome. Carlton Belmar bending this beautiful strike just past the outreached arms of the keeper and giving Richmond the 1-0 advantage. But Greenville in the second half tried to come back. Look at this beautiful ball, this wonderful touch, and this finish is so close. Jacob Blavovitz trying to open up his account this season. He scored quite a few goals last season, and he nearly, just so nearly, had the equalizer in this game to make it 1-1. But Will Palmquist would get a clean sheet in goal, and would also, Richmond would get 3 points on the road against the Triumph. Pivoting to Tennessee, where at CHI Memorial Stadium, these two teams got their season started, and nearly a goal here for the visiting Hailstorm. Rendon and Breck Evans both combining on this corner kick, but Carlos Aviles, wonderful kick save, keeping it 0-0, protecting his team. Then his teammate Nicholas Cardona would let a shot fly here from way out from beyond the penalty box. Just look at that thing glide, but it gets punched away. Edward Delgado stepping in for Johan Peñaranda, serving his red card suspension. It would end up a 0-0 draw at CHI Memorial Stadium between the Hailstorm and the Red Wolves. And I think this may be one of the most anticipated matchups of the weekend, a rematch of the quarterfinal. Same venue and all, Charlotte Independence and the reigning champs Tormenta. And revenge was had to be certain. The Jacks opening up their scoring account, this one by Brad Dunwell. I believe that's the first of what will become many, many goals scored by Charlotte Independence this season. What a response, and what a response it was. Mukwele Akale, a Sports Center top 10 goal, and well deserving of it. But maybe something that could have ended up in the not so top 10 was this play here by Preston Kilwine. Already on a yellow card, kicks the ball away on the throw and gets his second yellow, just careless. Puts his team down a man in a 1-1 game. Just a crucial error on his part. And then from there, when you are playing down a man for so long, certain things leak through. Shalom Duty gives his team the advantage, and they would not lose it for the rest of this game. They would tack in another goal here, and why not look at it? Joel Johnson would have a beautiful assist here. Just look at how he pops this ball up. And Corey Bennett, don't mind if I do, just nod that one on goal, make it 3-1. Charlotte would not get blanked this time, and they would not get knocked out on the road at Optum Sports Medicine Field at Tormenta Stadium. Payback was delivered. Then we had a Sunday fixture. Another game where both teams were making their entrances this season. And how about two fascinating kicks, too? Wonderful kicks between Omaha and Madison. But something that isn't new is J.P. Skiers heading in goals. He is such a weapon on those set pieces. This has got to be the most exciting game of the weekend. So many great chances, a couple of great goals. And if this doesn't look like your typical Werner Park, that's because it's at Caniglia Field. Noe Meza nearly making it a 2-0 advantage over top of the Mingos. Couldn't put it through. And then Madison would find a response in the second half. Derek Gebhard winds it around to a new Mingo, Christian Cheney. You might be familiar with his antics last season with the Fuego, and you also may be familiar with his goal celebration. Fantastic. 10 out of 10. The first of what could be a great season for Christian Cheney, and he nearly had a great finish right here near the end of the game. Christian Cheney, whoa! But Rashid Nuhu was up for the challenge, and it would be a 1-1 draw. More content coming up your way after this break on ESPN+.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Oh, that one a good strike, and he finds the back of the net. For Ownby. Ownby cuts it back. Ownby's cross to the back post. And how about that start from Louisville City?
Well, we are truly underway in the 2023 League One season. Goalkeeping masterclass in that draw the Hailstorm had. Both Aviles and Lalo Delgado combined for the most saves in a scoreless match in league history. Lexington in their first season pushing forward with their academy, making their first ever signing. Just 16 years of age. What were you doing at 16? Luke Phillips is playing for the pro team in Kentucky. Great opportunity to talk about the U.S. Open Cup. Here's how the draws go. The first ever Kentucky Derby. Lou City and Lexington will face off this Wednesday in what promises to be an amazing match. Interstate battles all over the place. Charlotte plays Appalachian from out west, and then Knoxville hosts Memphis. So a lot of great games there as Forward Madison will get an out-of-state matchup against Chicago House Loudoun United, playing a team that they used to play in the championship. All of these games once again happening on Wednesdays. Chattanooga will welcome Birmingham, hammer down the Legion. Here's the teams that feature tonight. A very tough draw for some of these teams. South Georgia Tormenta have got at home RGV, which is a tough one. Northern Colorado have got to go on the road to the Switchbacks. That sounds tough, but they beat them last year in extra time, so they can do it. But the most difficult of them all, Greenville, have got to go all the way to Phoenix, Arizona to play on the West Coast in their opening game of the U.S. Open Cup. That is a tough one. Other games as well, once again, all going on this Wednesday and Thursday, League One. All 12 making it into this round. Richmond Kickers, Cleveland. Couple teams having against the championship game. Here is the team of the week, and it's Neil Vinyals, a guy who is just so talented in this league for Richmond. They were down tonight by Charlotte, who had 3 team members of their own in the game of the week. 2 of the representatives tonight, Rogers and Akale, made it in. Of course, Christian Cheney, an amazing goal for Forward Madison, ins his name into the name sheet as well, as Aviles is your goalkeeper in the team of the week. Here is what's coming up ahead as South Georgia continue this long stint at home. They're going to host John Harkes and Greenville Triumph as they're still trying to figure out the name of what this rivalry is going to be. You can vote on that. And that will be coming up just this next weekend as they've got a lot of games at home. Unfortunately for Northern Colorado, they do get the week off, which is nice, but the next time they will be away. Well, folks, a lot more coming up for you right after this. Stick with us. Northern Colorado lead 1-0. We'll have more for you when we come back on ESPN+.
Suffering from knee pain? Don't let the pain hold you back. The region's most experienced robotic joint replacement team, Optum Health System, offers an individually tailored approach that is more precise and creates smaller incisions. For you, that can mean a faster recovery with less pain. Your comeback starts here. Call today to find out if robotic-assisted joint replacement is right for you.
Your mission, should you choose to accept it, will be to save Bullock County from slow internet. To do so, you must recruit an exceptional tech team. They must be fast, reliable, and absolutely fearless. Time is of the essence. Bullock's internet is dependent on your success.
What's up, Tormenta Nation? My name's Olivia Conley. Today we're starting a new series where we get to know players a little bit better. This is Jake.
My name's Jake Dangler. I'm excited to be here. Can't wait.
Jake, where did you grow up and how did it shape you into who you are today?
I grew up in Baltimore, Maryland, and I'd say like Baltimore was a soccer community, and so growing up with others, it's kind of shaped me into the player I am today and the person I am.
How old were you when you started playing soccer?
I was 3, and I have a cute little picture of me at my brother's first practice or something, to where I'm just dribbling a ball in my little tennis shoes, and then there's another picture where I have my first cleats are baseball cleats, because like I said, my parents knew nothing about it, so they just thought any cleats were proper cleats.
Yeah.
Here are your first half highlights brought to you by Galactic Comics. Well, it was a quick-fire start for both teams as you see TJ Bush fouled here early. It was a resurgent attack from South Georgia Tormenta. They had multiple opportunities. Ball serviced in, shots from outside the box. Akindele probably had the best look besides maybe Otieno's shot from outside the box. But they had their opportunities, certainly a more amount of them and a plethora of opportunities from various areas. This one from Otieno struck wide. So they certainly were in that first half offensively. They just could not find a way past Lalo Delgado or any other way through this defense. A very difficult first half offensively. For Northern Colorado, not as many chances, but they did take the ones they got. The main man, the captain, Rob Cornwall, scoring the goal for Northern Colorado. That gives them the 1-0 lead at the half. Few other chances as well in the end. A pretty solid first half from both teams. Here are the first half stats brought to you by Galactic Comics. 8 shots despite only having 36% of the ball. 3 yellow cards, though, that's something to think about as we go farther and farther into this game. So for Tormenta, certainly something to think about is so much of the ball and still so few shots. They got some on target. They had some decent looks, but nothing still really to show. Well, here we go, folks. We are just about all ready to go. Jonathan Belinsky's whistle will get us underway in half number 2 from Statesboro, Georgia. The sun has set, the lights are on, the whistle goes, and we are ready for second half action in South Georgia. Valentin Cimbella is the one who kicks us off. Along by Rendon, looking for Eamon. Big time game for both of these teams. Still looking for their first win. Northern Colorado looking for their first win in Georgia as well. They lost 3-1 their only other visit here. First time playing at the new stadium. That one's caught by Coonry. For Tormenta, they're trying to bounce back from that first loss at the new stadium. They suffered 3-1 to Charlotte last week. A win could not take them top of the league anymore because of Charlotte winning, but it could take them to the summit. As you can see, the sliding challenge leaves Inequaqua down. It looks as though he was given a caution as well. Quaqua. Dietrich. Nice ball to the feet of Dietrich. Luke Lukic might have just been offside. Dietrich fouls Davy Mason. Dalton Knutson making his first appearance since rejoining Tormenta. Spent the 2019 season with them and the interim period with Union Omaha. Bruno Rendon, 84 minutes against Chattanooga. Spent last year with the Syracuse Pulse of NISA. She got to work with current assistant Colin Falvey. Ball over the top for Akale, just can't quite bring it under his spell. There's a good look behind the goal as you take a look at Akale. Still trying to make his presence felt behind Akindele in that number 10 role. A good ball over the top, it just couldn't quite get his foot on it. He was in the right area to make the bring down. Knutson called for the foul on Lukic. Now Jonathan Malinsky will have a word with him. And to confirm earlier, there was a yellow card on Tobias Otieno for the sliding challenge on Kwakwa. Billy King takes it end line. Gets his cross away, but it's too close to the end line. Kodo as well to work his way out of trouble. No halftime substitutions for either team. Any and all adjustments having to be made tactically rather than through the personnel. Both sides missing some crucial players. Irvin Parra, a big name for Northern Colorado. Keziah Sterling, one for Tormenta, not available for selection. There's a lot of talent on the bench for Tormenta, especially Mateus Cassini, as Bush clears this one away under duress. So John Murphy Jr., another option in midfield. Rendon toying with his defender. Fonseca does so well to get ball side. He'll leave it for TJ Bush, who comes in for Pablo Jara. 2 starts to begin the season, including a clean sheet against NCFC, but apparently something from Ian Cameron being noticed, either from Bush or from Jara. Cushioned down by Ajay. But now the point of emphasis for Northern Colorado focuses on that clean sheet. Something they were not able to do with regularity last season. Curry! Lalo Delgado. Reflexes like lightning. Put that one down for save of the week. This one was ratcheted by the Australian and saved wonderfully by Lalo. First set piece for the home side in half number 2. Trying to spark something here on this Storm showdown. Across the face of goal. First to it is Otieno. A season out for a corner. It was here that Northern Colorado scored in the first 45. Fonseca. 3 assists and 7 goals with the Real Monarchs last year. Front stick. Confusion out front, but Nembhard puts it wide. A gilded opportunity for Deshaun Nembhard. Well, once again, set pieces seem to be the way to unlock defenses. And it's just right off the back of a defender that might have thrown off Nembhard. They have come so close, Tormenta, on multiple occasions, including twice in quick succession here in the second half. But stymied they have been. How might they miss a guy like Keziah Sterling? That just natural born and bred goal scorer. He had a hat trick in that win against Northern Colorado in Georgia last season. In fact, Sterling has 3 of the 4 goals that Tormenta have ever scored against Northern Colorado. Ajay against Rendon. We saw this just like in the first half. Rendon using that physicality to see off the Ghanaian. Really has been a mismatch for size. Down the left wing for Tormenta. Collision. It's Fonseca and Dietrich. Yeah, both players just honestly playing the ball there. Replay brought to you by Vandy's Barbecue. Layoff by Akindele. Akale down the middle trying to pull the strings. Ajay shrugs off Rendon. Gets his cross away. Kwakwa fouled by Akindele. Frustration palpable. Andrew Akindele still looking for his first goal in blue and pink. Had 90 minutes plus a yellow card against Charlotte, as you see him here, just catching Kwakwa at the hip. Spent some time with FC Cincinnati 2 down in MLS Next Pro. 3 goals. Chicago Fire, Orlando City B, NYCFC 2. Before that, he was a Wisconsin Badger. 7 goals and 5 assists. A lot of air under this one. Down by Mason. Behind Khoury for Akale. Trying to build up ahead of steam. Great crunching challenge. Eamon gets there ahead of Knudsen. Yellow card issued out to him as well. I would like to see this one again. Just want to see how much of the contact was incidental or otherwise. As Captain Deshaun Nembhard comes over to plead the case. You can see there is some contact from behind. Might just be enough to earn the foul. It'll be that man again. Arthur Rogers peering over Walensky's shoulder.
Don't get trapped, okay?
Already has a foot on a goal tonight. Lost to this Tormenta team in a 2-0 win last season with a game-winning goal and an assist. Rogers, deep ball tipped over by Bush. No room to gamble with that one. Took the safe option, an excellent ball, looping, curling, nearly finding that top corner. Bush takes the safe route. Dietrich is available on the edge of the box. A big stack of bodies in blue and white right on the penalty spot. A busy man, Arthur Rogers. Set piece duties firmly his. Front stick. Billy King. Step overs one way. Releases the cross. Bush gets there. They have gone through periods in this game where they have put pressure on Tormenta and have gotten chances from it. Otieno to release the pressure. It has not been Ajay's day today. Here he goes, some space to eat up. Ajay. The goal scorer, Cornwall, near him. Of course, there's a great connection with Cornwall and Eamon Zayed. They're both Irish. But another one as well is Billy King, who's been a fruitful winger for them so far. Still looking for his first goal or assist, but he's caused trouble. The Scotsman from Edinburgh, Billy King, but he played the last 2 seasons with St. Patrick's Athletic in Ireland. Actually won the 2021 FAI Cup, basically the FA Cup in Ireland. Won that game 5-4 on penalties, and he scored his penalty kick. I talked with Coach Zayed about that connection and whether that's where he knew him from. He said it was, as Akoto is hacked down. Rogers issued out a yellow. So 2 yellow cards now in 2 games for Arthur Rogers as we get to the final 30 minutes of this one. 14 on 14 as Akoto is brought down. Akale had a set piece that got Tormenta back into the game. As we take a look at it. In the end, good work by Akoto just to usher the ball away from the sliding challenge. It was Akale from a free kick last week who got Tormenta back into the game. Can he do it again? Makwele Akale. Second bounce in the box. Away by Rogers. Corey now. Excellent work by Kwakwa. Tempestuous defending eventually shuttles it away.
Double substitution for Tormenta FC. Exiting the match, number 45, Kingsford, Ajay. Entering the match, number 17, Elijah, Amo. Also exiting the match, number 8, Pedro Fonseca. Entering the match, number 6, John Murphy Jr.
heard there from the PA announcer in stadium. 2 substitutions. And ends Kingsford Ajay's night. Elijah Amo will come in as his replacement. He was very lively during his time against Charlotte last time out. John Murphy Jr. is the other to enter. He replaces Pedro Fonseca. Here he is immediately into play, both of them. Amo out wide for Mason. On the ground, great ball. Rendon, toe pokes it to safety. But Nibhart is there first. So the first to go to their bench, it's Tormenta. The impetus is on them to go out and try and alter the math in this one. You got 2 very capable players. John Murphy Jr. joining in from the New York Red Bulls 2. Already has a game-winning assist this season, providing the ball into Akale for the winner against NCFC. Amo, who is chasing the ball down now. He's got a little bit more size and can maybe pose a problem for Rendon. Sabella, he's been very quiet tonight. And Lukic has his ball deflected onto the path of Bush. Started briefly talking about the connections with the Irish players. Coach Eamon Zayed saying that the Irish League is one that's very similar to League One and to American soccer as a whole. He finds that players that have played in the Irish leagues tend to transition quickly and find a much faster start. It's a very physical game, a lot of running back and forth up and down the field. So it pairs well to have players from Ireland, which is the case from King, who's a Scotsman but played for a few years, as well as Robert Cornwall, as there's another substitution as Akindele will come out for Mateus Cassini. A big-time move coming in from forward Madison, a player of real renown. And we'll see just how the shape lines up now as Akindele is off. Cassini presumably will not be the central striker. So does Kuri go down the middle? Is it Akale? Could it possibly be Amo? So we wait to get back underway with Davy Mason to take the throw. Had a great conversation with Eamon Zayed about Ireland, and he and I just had a kind of at the end of our call, I just started asking him about the country and about the beauty of it. He said one of his favorite counties out on the West Coast is County Derry. He's from Dublin himself on the East Coast. He's talking about that dynamic of Dublin being the real big metropolitan area in an otherwise rather rural and agrarian country. One of the most interesting coaches to talk with you'll find anywhere, Eamon Zayed. A guy who's just coming off of his professional career just a few years ago, played in this league for Charlotte and Chattanooga. Before that, he played all over the European leagues as well as in Asia. The man that's known for the 10-10-3. He played for Persepolis in Iran. Came on with 10 minutes to go when his team were a man down and were losing the game 2-0. He came on 10 minutes to go, scored a hat trick to win the game. One of the most brilliant individual performances you'll see anywhere. There's confirmation that Norte come on as well as Northern Colorado go to their bench for the first time tonight. Replaces Jackson Dietrich. Here's Mateus Cassini, his first touches since that opening game against NCFC. Deshaun Nimhard. Too much on that one. Overcooked the long ball. Paco Craig leads Miami FC into Kentucky to face Josh Winder in the reigning Eastern Conference winners, Louisville City FC. Don't miss the start of the new season of USL on ESPN Saturday, May 13th at 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. The air has just been let out of this game in the last 10 minutes after a bright start from Tormenta, where they twice tested Lalo Delgado. Since the fizzle is just petered out, really a flash of the pan for the champions. A foul committed here by Davy Mason. Actually had a very poor record at home last season, Tormenta. They were kind of topsy-turvy, a pyramid upside down. They had one of the worst home records, but one of the best away records. They were the road warriors. That all changed whenever they moved to this new stadium. They had not lost until last week against Charlotte. Since opening their new stadium, they played their first ever playoff game. They played their first ever final. They won their first ever final on this field, but it has all come apart, and they are facing now their second consecutive home loss, trying to avoid repeating the form from last year. Arthur Rogers, a constant threat from set pieces. Taken first time, fired deep into the night sky here in South Georgia. Sabella's also not had the brightest of games tonight. Akoto, Oprah. Very useful addition to this Northern Colorado team, joining from Spartak Jurmala in Latvia. Bounced around those European leagues, the Nigerian. Played some time in the Swiss Super League, as well as in the Finnish top division, trying to find his path to success. Just 23, now finds himself in Statesboro, Georgia. Cassini. Amo. Trickles out of play. Dalton Knudsen having to be brought into this team due to injury and suspension. It has been a ramshackle assembly of this back line, just about brand new for Tormenta this season. For Lalo Delgado in Northern Colorado, trying to reverse a trend from last season. Very poor when it came to clean sheets, trying to go 2-0 in that regard to begin 2023. Got just under 20 minutes to do it. King slides one through. Lukic shuffled along for Sabella, slips as he takes it. Rendon tees it up. Nimhard just enough to get it away. Amo, full sprint forward. Releases Kuri, but it's too far along. Another interesting connection, Rob Cornwall and Billy King. Both of them actually played against each other when they were in Ireland in the 2021 FAI Cup. So Billy King came on as a substitute in that game, scored a penalty kick when it went to that. Rob Cornwall started that game. It was Cornwall who came out on the losing end of it for Bohemian. Take a look at what happened here. Kale collided into by Rogers. A foul. And then there was a reach to the pocket. It looked like he was gonna bring out a yellow card there for a moment. That gave these Tormenta fans some nervous flashbacks to last week. There is going to be a yellow card, but it'll be to Lukic instead, I believe. Probably not to Lukic. I believe he's already on a yellow. To Billy King, there's confirmation. Brought to you by Aspen Aerogels. So now Mateus Cassini tasked with the set pieces. There's Delgado. Brought into this team from Phoenix, trying to secure the second clean sheet in as many games. What a heroic start that would be for a guy who was number 2 in Phoenix. Thought he might be the number 2 here as well. Cassini, first time ball out for Ikoto. Takes one touch around Oprah. And it'll be out for a corner. Last off the Nigerian. Taken short. Lobbed in and nodded clear by Lukic. Big boot of Bush. It's about the 3rd or 4th time we've seen one of those long balls go about 5 to 10 yards too far. Delgado will just run this out. Norte. Nice spot to pick out Sabella. Rendon. Hacked clear by Mason. Good footwork. King shuffles through 2. Settled and deflected in the most unfortunate of circumstances. Northern Colorado double their lead.
Goal for the Northern Colorado Hailstorm.
It comes off Nimhard, who surely meant that this goal was sealed. Just off of his right foot, it looked like Bush probably had it contained. And a brutal way to go 2-0 down.
Double substitution for Tormenta FC, entering the match number 20, Colin Masunis.
Yeah, double substitution now. Chris Heckenberg and Colin Masunis.
Entering the match number 21, Chris Heckenberg.
Otieno will go off for Heckenberg. Ikoto is replaced by Masunis. And once again, it's that final 15 minutes of games that proves to be a fruitful ground from which goals can be grown. It's Norte. He had the game-winning goal against Charlotte in 2022 and a game-tying goal against this Tormenta team in the 99th minute. That 1-1 draw in Northern Colorado. So not his first time finding it in the back of the net against Tormenta. So now an even tougher challenge to overcome. Heckenberg. Knutson. All signs point to his return to Tormenta to be one that ends in defeat. Akale. Cassini. Amo. And that comes off of Amo last. Joined in for the Maryland Bobcats of Nisa. Being drafted 34th overall by RSL.
Entering the match number 11, Marky Hernandez.
Marky Hernandez enters for Valentin Sabella. Not the greatest of games for Sabella. Didn't need to be, though. Californian Marky Hernandez actually made his debut against Tormenta in 2020 when he played for Chattanooga. The 2-2 draw on the day. Also assisted a game-winning goal in 2021. Rafa Mensigan when he played for Chattanooga. So another guy who's familiar with this Tormenta team and knows how to get goals. And now the task is clean sheet all the way home. Murphy lobs one in beautifully, but once again, just 5 yards too deep. They just have not been able to find that range on the long balls. Catch the next generation of stars at the USL Academy Cup. Action concludes Sunday, highlighted by the Under-19 Boys and Girls Elite Finals on the USL YouTube channel. For more information, visit usl-academy.com. Week does not get any easier for here. This is the first 3-game week for teams of League One. They turn around to midweek to play a US Open Cup game. Thankfully for South Georgia, or perhaps not thankfully, they have a long start to their season at home. 4 of their first 5 matches are here at Optum Sports Medicine Field. They're going to host RGV from the championship. Northern Colorado, when they make it back to their home state, will jump down to play the Switchbacks on the road before coming all the way back out to the East Coast to play Richmond. I almost wish you could just stay out here if it weren't for that US Open Cup game. Tormenta will be back here at home against Greenville a week to the day. And this is an area they're going to have to get figured out. Home is a place you want to be able to win. They have not figured out a way to do so. So many of their games early are at home. I want to be banking points in areas like this, in times like these. Heckenberg, of course, the beginning of the season is such a hectic time trying to string in new players. Cooley attempted to flick it on for Heckenberg. Lost out to Murphy. Cassini. Kale arms up in frustration on the right-hand side. He's shifted out wide. Akale. And harmlessly past Lalo Delgado. You're going to see him just in your shot behind Delgado. It's the flight crew there, but not had much to cheer about tonight. They had a fun time on social media as they played an April Fool's prank, saying that they had changed their affiliation to the Savannah Clovers, changed their colors and everything. Of course, they're here tonight, as they will be all season, to cheer on the defending champions, hoping for better days that lay ahead. A shot from way out, parried, and then turned in with a diving header. A peach of a goal scored by Colorado in Georgia. Well, it all starts with time and space outside the 18, and then we told you about him, a guy who knows how to score and get points against this team, does so again. Marky Hernandez, third time a goal or an assist against Tormenta. That surely is the clincher. As things go from bad to worse for the champions. Well, after coming here and letting in 3 goals themselves when they faced Tormenta last season, they put 3 past the defending champs on this visit. They'll take Optum Sports Medicine Field any day. Akale starting to cause trouble. Just hasn't gotten going tonight. Into the final 5 minutes. Can their main man do something to the front stick? And we'll go again. Fourth corner kick of the evening for Tormenta. Mukwele Akale punched away by Delgado. Pressure mounting. Corey offers the option short. Five minutes to go. 3 goals, the minimum needed. Away by Delgado yet again. And kept from going out for a corner by Rendon. Coach Zayed, #1 priority coming into this season was keeping clean sheets, and they are making the plays this season to do just that. They dominated against Chattanooga in order to keep a clean sheet. Tonight they are holding firm defensively. Sliding challenge by Corey is going to earn him a yellow card, either by Murphy. It's a yellow and nothing more. Issued out emphatically by Jonathan Belinsky.
Hailstorm exiting the match number 19, Tilly King. Entering the match number 47, McCain Clark. Also exiting the match number 22.
See here is it's just in the aftermath of that challenge. Lucky Oprah.
Number 6 for Tormenta FC, John Murphy Jr.
It's the second goal that Northern Colorado have scored in the last 15 minutes of the second half. It's more than any other team in League One this season. Last season, they scored more than anyone else in the last 15 minutes of the first half. And the last 15 minutes before each halftime and full-time whistle was the most profitable, as Destin Norman comes in for Stefan Lucic. Murphy. Slides one across, and Rendon pulls the emergency switch.
A yellow card is shown at number 7 for Northern Colorado Hailstorm, Lucky Oprah.
Lucky Oprah, yellow card. Time closing down for Tormenta to make a comeback. Lalo once again. Was that a penalty kick? Yes, it was. Caught from behind. It's Akale chasing down the rebound. Just cleverly gets his body between the man and the ball. Trying to get this off as quickly as possible. Rendon harrying him. Cornwall. Anything to throw him off. In the 90th minute, to lessen the deficit, the Minnesota Messi, 2 goals in 2 games so far, steps up and puts it wide. Clean sheet preserved for now.
The fourth official has indicated for a minimum of 3 minutes of stoppage time.
Just nothing going their way tonight. Tormenta. Delgado guessed the right way, but it was wide. You could see how quickly Akale was trying to take it. He wanted to put it in the back of the net and spur his team on to mount a comeback, but in his haste, he let himself down. More than likely, it would have been nothing but a mere consolation goal. But still, fight to be shown. A fight will not be had, it seems. Masiunas making his debut. With a win that would take Zayed to his 14th win as the coach of Northern Colorado. That would slide them up the table as well. More yellows issued out.
Yellow card is shown at number 47 for the Northern Colorado Hailstorm, McCain
And in behind for a goal kick. As we said last season, just not their year at home, Tormenta, but that was at Irk Russell Field. That's when things weren't going their way. But it all changed when they moved to their new digs. They found something special when they came to this place. When they moved into the new ground, it began a magical story that led them from their first playoff appearance to a League One final to lifting the trophy. As TJ Bush latches onto it. But now, it seems as though the magic may have run out. They have sputtered their way through their opening 2 home games. Injuries, suspensions, and now a 3-0 thumping sends the Hailstorm over them in this Storm showdown. Another disappointing night under the lights in Statesboro for the defending champions. And with that final result, we can move on to our man of the match presented by Galactic Comics. Here's the ball into the front stick that was let in by the man of the match for us, Arthur Rogers. Yet another incredible performance as he not only set up the game-winning goal, but also helped them secure yet another clean sheet. What a big moment for Arthur Rogers. That presented to you by Galactic Comics. Here is your play of the match. Once again, brought to you by Bullock Solutions. This fired shot from way out. Great reflexes from Marky Hernandez, who does it again against Tormenta. That was the one that really put this one beyond doubt. First goal of the year, and what a celebration to go along with it. Marky Hernandez, congratulations. Goal number 1 in 2023. Here is your save of the match presented by Galactic Comics. Great turn and shot by Jackson Cooley. Amazing save by Lalo Delgado there. Once again, so many individual moments to save the clean sheet. He and the many others along his back line were the ones that helped preserve it.
System's commitment to you has changed. Unmatched safety and passionate care. Others may talk about the new normal, but at Optum Health System we've always provided high-quality, personalized care safely. If you have recently delayed your care, we want to reassure you we're prepared to care for you. Our absolute commitment to safe, high-quality, personalized care is stronger than ever. We welcome you back to Optum Health System.
Here at Optum Sports Medicine Field in Statesboro, Georgia, where the home side, the defending champions, are downed by the Hailstorm in the Storm Showdown. Full-time presented by Kids World. Well, that was an eventful game from start to finish. One that was heavily contested by both teams, but the goals went the way of just one of them. Here's your full-time highlights presented by Galactic Comics. Got us underway in the first half as Tormenta had their share of chances all throughout this game. First half and second, they had shots on target. They were testing the keeper, but in the end, they just could not find a way through the back line. Some great individual performances. Our opening goal came from what else? A set piece from who else? Arthur Rogers, the main man, the captain. The Irishman, Rob Cornwall, gets the goal to open us up. So going into halftime, very difficult for Tormenta as they were down by just a single goal. They got things underway with a quick start right at the beginning as Cooley had probably their best opportunity, firing this one from a pivot. They peppered the goal with corner kicks and shots. Deshaun Nimhard had probably the biggest miss of the game, putting that one wide. In the end, they could just not quite get there. They kept testing, though. Can't blame Northern Colorado for shutting up shop or anything of the like. They kept going, kept pressing, kept attacking, and found the goals they needed to get the win in this game. This one was deflected in off Nimhard. Very unfortunate way to go down in the game. And once again, as they press to try and find the equalizer, a goal to tighten it up in the end, it's just not enough. And they let in the goal through Marky Hernandez, which sends this one into a final score of 3-0. Here is the full-time statistics in this one, presented by Galactic Comics. 3 goals off 13 shots. They don't need possession. Who cares? They've got the shots. They've got the shots on target. They've got the chances created. They're one of the best offensive teams in the league this season. They scored goals in bags last year, and it looks like they're going to pick up where they left off this one as well. But questions to be answered for Tormenta FC as they are still trying to find a way to find victory at home, and they're going to need to do it soon, because they've got a lot of games coming up very quickly in Statesboro. It's your full-time statistics presented by Galactic Comics. 64% possession was still not enough to get the job done after falling 3-1 to Charlotte. Injuries and red cards got them today. It was just a great performance in the Storm Showdown by Colorado. Well, folks, it was a game that was punctuated by good defensive work from Colorado and great defensive work on set pieces from those defenders. Center backs galore as they had a field day in front of goal. 3-0 as the champions go down yet again at home. Can they find answers? They need to quickly. For myself, Zach Burley, our incredible crew, we say thank you for tuning in. And from Statesboro, good night.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.